Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am Jackie Paige from 93.9 WKYS and iPower 92.11041 in Richmond and in the DMV. And today, when I tell you I'm so excited about this summit that we are about to get into, I am so excited because this is all about small businesses. It is all about entrepreneurs and making sure that we give you the tools and the resources that are right here in our own community for you to really take your small business and you being an entrepreneur to the next level. So as you can see, I have a few people joining me today for the Virginia Entrepreneurship Summit because I cannot do this by myself. Joining me today, I have Jennifer Mayton, who is the agency interim director of the Virginia Department of Small Businesses and Supplier Diversity. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having us, Jackie.
No, thank you. Again, I'm so happy that you're here and that we get to talk about this because this is great information. Up next, we have Kathryn Dolan, who is the Director of Business Development and Outreach Services with the Virginia Department of Small Businesses and Supplier Diversity. Kathy, how are you doing?
Wonderful. It's such a pleasure to be here. We can't wait to talk to everyone and to get questions as well. Thank you for having us.
More than welcome. Up next, we have Miss Verniece Love, who is the Director of SWaM and DBE certifications.
Yes. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good. Verniece, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on. And last, but certainly not least, we have Howard Pisons, who is the Executive Director of Virginia Small Businesses Financial Authority. How are you doing, Howard?
Thanks, Jackie. Pleasure to be here. Good evening, everyone.
Well, let's go ahead and get right into it because I know people have a lot of questions about what's happening today. So the Virginia Department of Small Businesses and Supplier Diversity, SBSD's mission is to enhance growth opportunities for Virginia's small businesses to prosper through increased revenue and job creation, thereby raising standards for living of all Virginians. The vision is to advocate for equal access to opportunities for Virginia small businesses for their creation, growth, and sustainability. In order to achieve this mission, the vision they have 4 departments, including business certifications led by Verniece, business development and outreach services led by Kathryn, Virginia's Small Business Financing Authority led by Howard, and the SBSD Agency Administration. In this event, as I kind of mentioned before, we will be educating everybody in Virginia right now about entrepreneurs about SBSD and their resources and programs. We will focus on getting small, woman-owned and minority-owned businesses certified with SBSD in order to get them eligible for V8 state contracts. The state of Virginia sets aside contracts for small, woman-owned and minority-owned businesses. The goal is to create opportunities for entrepreneurs in minority communities. This is huge. This is information that I know people in Virginia need. So what is SBSD? Let's start there. Verniece. I'm sorry, Jennifer, I'll let you take that.
Thanks. So Jackie, you did a great job introducing us. And for everybody out there watching, reality is we are a state agency that is designed to help support you in your efforts to expand and grow your small businesses. So we have a number of resources and tools that are available to everyone that you may not be familiar with. So it's one of the reasons we wanted to come on and talk to you tonight. So all of us on here are from SBSD. I am the interim agency director and super excited to tell you a little bit about the different programs that we have, and each of the directors can get into more detail. But as a state agency, we offer certification, which is headed up by Verniece. where we can certify businesses in our state and federal programs, which give them access to contracting opportunities. And contracting opportunities are a great way to build capital, which is what Howard's team specializes in. So Howard's team makes sure that our small business community has access to financing and resources, which is a key component to success for any small business. And then Kathy's team does business development and outreach, where we make sure that our businesses have the tools that they need to understand how to engage with state contracts, how to grow, how to develop business plans and growth plans. So we offer a number of resources within our agency and are just excited to be here with you guys today to talk a little bit more about it.
Awesome. Verniece, so you are you're the director over business certifications. Can you just give us a little more details about that and exactly what you do?
Of course. So in the Commonwealth, we have two certification programs for the state of Virginia. We have the DBE program, which is a federal program. DBE stands for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And it is a program that's overseen by the U.S. Department of Transportation. And that program allows businesses to take advantage of federally funded contracts in the construction arena. So if you think of, any contract that has to do with building buildings, construction, working on the bridges, highways, airports, things of that nature, those are federally funded contracts here in Virginia. And so there are goals where the DBEs are required to participate on those projects. So having the DBE certification would allow businesses in the construction industry to take advantage of those contracting opportunities. On the other side, we have the SWaM program, which SWAM stands for Small, Women-Owned, and Minority-Owned Businesses. It is the state certification program that allows businesses to take advantage of state contracting opportunities. So how it works is our business or our agency will certify a business as either, small, women-owned, minority-owned, one or multiple of those designations. And that certification allows them to take advantage of the set-asides that have been, the contracts that have been set aside for those businesses in the state of Virginia.
Okay, great information. Kathryn, want to talk a little bit about your role and what you do as the Director of Business Development and Outreach Services?
Of course. So I have a team of 5 wonderful people, business service managers, and they are strategically placed around the Commonwealth. So we have a representative that covers the Eastern region based in Virginia Beach. We have someone covering the Western region in Roanoke, someone covering the Northern region based in Alexandria, Fairfax. And then we have 2 of the representatives in Richmond, but one goes north as far as Stafford and then turns into the Shenandoah Valley, and the other goes Richmond proper and south all the way through Danville. So a huge part of what this team does is we offer training and webinars. It used to be seminars, but now it's webinars. So that's one piece. That's kind of an introductory piece. And some of the key topics or the core programs that we offer are, how to access Virginia Government Contracting Database, or EVA, Electronic Virginia, or EVA. So how to get in that database, how to make sure that you have information on your business profile that's going to accurately reflect what you sell. Then we have a EVA Leads webinar, which will teach them how to go in and sort of data mine to find out of all the couple hundred state agencies in Virginia who's actually buying what they sell, so they can do a better job of targeting their marketing. We also work in partnership with Verniece. Her team is doing the certification, but we're out there in the field, so we'll do an overview of what SWaM is all about for people who say, what is this SWaM? What does it do? So that's kind of a general overview. And then somebody says, oh, I get it, and I'd like to do that. So we will help people in their basic application to get SWaM certified, and then it gets turned over to Vernice's group. Now, sometimes people go, well, they called me and they had questions after I applied. Well, obviously, we're doing the basics, and once it gets to her team, they may have questions on some of the documentation that was submitted. The other thing that a lot of people may not know about our agency is that we have a fabulous portal called Business One Stop. And oftentimes it's mostly startups that would use it, but you could also be an existing business, and you can walk through it and indicate what type of business, where you're located. And for startups, that's going to tell you who you need to register with, how to get your federal EIN number. If you have a trade, it's going to get you connected with Virginia's Department of Professional Occupation and Regulations. So besides the webinars and besides the Business One Stop, we can have a webinar and let's say 50 people attend. At the end, 25 people are going to say, I get it, I got it, I'm gone. But 25 more may say to us quietly, I really need some help. I heard you, I don't get it. So a really, really critical piece of what we do is those business service managers are working one-on-one in business consultations with small businesses. So somebody can say, I need an appointment. And those can run anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half and sometimes 2 hours, really helping them get through the weeds. We have a phenomenal relationship with other small business resource partners. So if we're not the ones who actually are the subject matter experts on a particular piece, we have a strong partnership of other resources in Virginia, and we're going to get that business to the correct person.
Oh, sounds good. I like to hear that there's a pipeline of different people that can be reached out to ensure that the help that is needed can be received. So that's great to hear. Howard, you are the director of the Virginia Small Businesses Financing Authority. Can you go into a little detail about what you do and what people can receive from your department?
Sure. Thank you, Jackie. So the short description of our group is we're the financing authority or financing arm for the states, for the state to help small businesses grow and expand. So we have a number of direct loan programs. We have 2 of them that we lend directly to small businesses, and we have another one that we work with economic development authorities who are working with small businesses, and then 2 others that we partner with banks to help them make loans to small businesses. So those are the categories. The direct loans. So we have a program called SWaM microloans, and it's for the small women-owned and minority-owned businesses who have been open for at least 2 years, and those loans range from $10,000 to $25,000. And they help a lot of small businesses sort of get to the second level. They may need working capital or financing for some small equipment. And that's what those loans are primarily for. We work with the small business development centers to help qualify some of these small businesses to get loans with us. Those loans are typically 4 years, and they're typically priced much lower than bank loans are. And these are often borrowers that don't have the access to capital from community banks, which is why we're here. They're often not eligible, or they don't meet all the parameters for community banking, but we're there to support them. So that's what we do there. We have a program called the Child Care Financing Program, and that is for child care providers. We have loans up to $10,000 for home-based businesses, and loans up to $150,000 for child care centers. So those are the larger centers that you see when you bring a child to. The other program that we have is with the economic development authorities and industrial development authorities. And so the authorities are looking to help their small businesses prosper and grow. And so they may be attracting small businesses to their locality, or they may be helping them purchase property or equipment. And that's where we are, and that's where we come in. And we can make a direct loan there. And those loans are at price advantaged. They're based on 75% of prime. And they can go as high as $1 million, $2 million. The other 2 programs that we have for small businesses is where we partner with banks. So let's suppose a small business goes to a bank and wants to borrow, say, $250,000, and they want to buy property that they're going to put their business in. So everything we do is owner-occupied real estate. So they want this loan. Well, they may not meet all the parameters of the bank, and it's often that they miss the equity side of it. So when you buy a house, right, you might have to put down 5% or 10%. If they don't have that, right? So for a commercial loan, they may want 20%. They do the appraisal, and the appraisal has a loan to value, say 90%. So they won't do that transaction. Well, we have a relationship with these banks, and we go out and we market them and say, hey, when you have a situation like this, call us, and we might be able to help. And what we would do is provide a guarantee, kind of like the SBA. So we could provide a guarantee for that 10% or the 15% that they're missing on the equity side. So they have the loan value of 90%. We come in, we throw that extra 10, 50% on top of it. Now the bank's risk is down to 75%. They like that. And everything else of the bank, everything else of the transaction they might like. And so we get the deal done that way. So we have one program with a guarantee, like the SBA 7A program. The other is we actually deposit cash. So instead of providing guarantee, we'll put $100,000 of cash in an account at the bank that would provide additional security. So now they have the real estate building that the owner is going to be in as collateral and $100,000 in cash. So that really fills the gap, and so the bank gets approved, and here we are. We don't charge anything for that. That's just our guarantees that to help the bank, to compel the bank to make that loan to the small business. So that's the sort of the 30,000 foot of our program.
Now, if I am a small business or an entrepreneur, I've just heard each and every one of you tell me what you guys have available. What's the first thing I need to do to reach out to each of you? I think when you have a small business or when you're just now getting started, it is a lot. And you don't really know exactly what to do. So, Jennifer, I'll start with you. What would you say would be that first step that a small business owner or an entrepreneur would need to do to reach out to get more information?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've got scrolling below a banner that has our website information on it, as well as our direct phone number. We always feel like the best place for businesses to start is with business development. At the end of the day, if they don't have a sense of what they're looking to do, how they want to structure their business, what their target market is, they really aren't going to be able to leverage the other services that we have available, like certification and the financing opportunities to the best of their abilities. So we always kind of feel like the business development is the starting point for them. So Kathy and her team, and like she said, we've got 5 managers across the state to help businesses where they are. And we want to make sure that we support them in the way they need to be supported. I see some questions coming in about, do we help nonprofits? We help all different business types. You don't have to be a for-profit business to get our support and leverage our services. So I would say the first place to start is with Kathy and her team. And then we will route you through the rest of the agency to leverage all the different services we have.
Great information right there. Another question is coming up. Is there a certain period of time that you have to be in business to qualify for these programs? That's another great question.
Yeah, so I'll start and then let my team jump in. So it depends on what you're looking to do. So for certification, you don't necessarily have to have been in business for any length of time to pursue DBE or SWaM certification. For some of our development programs, we do want a seasoned business, someone that's been in business for 2 to 3 years. Kathy will tell you guys more about our Scaling for Growth program, which is a really cool MBA style program that we have for our business owners that really helps them scale to the next level. So there are some requirements there. And then we do look for businesses that have been in business that can demonstrate repayment history to leverage our financing opportunities, but the length of time is not extensive. I mean, we're not talking about 5, 10, 15 years. So typically most of our time frames are about 2 to 3 years to qualify for a lot of our different programs. And I don't know if any of my other teammates want to jump in and speak to that a bit more for their areas.
Yeah, so Jennifer hit the nail on the head. We don't, right now, we don't do startup programs. So they have to have at least a couple of years experience. And we do want them, we do some qualifying of the small loans with the small business development centers. So we ask them to go to the small business development centers. And those are the folks who help small businesses with their strategic plan, to learn how to budget, to do more, even marketing, to help them get to the next level. So those are sort of advisory services that they provide. We want them to go to those guys to also, and they get to do a little sign off. They'll say, "Yep, we've talked to these folks, and they have the level of experience that we think that they need to qualify for one of your loans." But so yeah, it's not we are though reimagining many of our programs because of the COVID environment. We're going to need to make changes. So yeah, we're in the process of doing that now. For our fiscal year ends June every year. So we're looking to the next fiscal year to sort of do some massaging of our programs, and we have some ideas that we hope will help small businesses more than we are now.
Another question from one of the viewers: if I've been working as an independent contractor, does that be included as time in business?
So independent contractors are different. They are not small businesses. We would want to look to the independent contractor and understand what his, what kind of a backlog he has, what kind of business that he is as an independent. So for tax purposes, he's a sole proprietor, and we would treat him that way.
So I have to say, I love that name, Freight Snatchers. That's a pretty cool name right there. And I think while we have some qualifications on the financing side, there's still a lot of opportunities on the business development side. So independent contractors really do have some opportunities to work with us, whether it be pursuing business development opportunities or certification opportunities. And Kathy, I don't know if you want to highlight some of the business development opportunities for independent contractors too.
Well, I wanted to say that, and Howard's team is the one that reviews the whole lending piece. But we always say when people are looking, and they say, well, the answer was no, we say, well, it's not really no, it's just not yet. So quite often, Howard's team will actually host. We set up the webinars, and they'll come in and talk about what businesses need to do to get set up, or how you need to line. If you just started your business, what are some things you need to do to get your ducks in a row so that in a couple of years you're ready? So I would say that there is for anybody in business, really at any level, for small businesses, and that's a really broad definition, by the way. We have something to offer everybody, and you don't have to know the exact right place to go to get into the agency. We're a very tiny agency. As Jennifer said, there's our website, there's our main phone line. We have a fabulous customer service team, and somebody can call and just say, I don't know what I need. This is where I am. I don't know who to talk to. So we're going to work with somebody, and for my team, it's at all levels. Like, I've been thinking about starting a business, but I don't have one yet. I've been in business 29 years, and I need something else. I've got to get in a different track here. So there is something for everybody, and you don't have to know exactly where you're going. Reach us, and we're going to get you to where you need to go.
Now, Kathy, I have another question for you, because Jennifer mentioned a little earlier that you all have a program for small businesses. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that program?
Absolutely. I'm so thrilled. It's a really dynamic program. It's a curriculum that we've partnered with a group out of Boston to obtain this curriculum, and they're partners with us. It's a 6-month program, and during that time, the businesses are developing not a business plan, but a growth plan. And this is a program for more advanced businesses. The minimum requirements, and newsflash here, we're recruiting right now for the next cohort. But some of the requirements are, you have to have been in business at least 3 years. Your revenue window has to be between $250,000 and $10 million. Obviously, you have to be SWaM certified. You have to be 51% or more owner in the business and have one other person that works in your business full time. And I want to be more specific on that piece. They can't just be answering the phone and taking messages. They have to run the business while you're working on the class. So it's 6 months. We tell people hold every Thursday. Class is every other Thursday, but we ask people hold every Thursday because you're going to be spending between 3 and 5 hours a week on the work. Now, I'm going to say we're in our 9th cohort. We review applications, and if people are interested, the applications are on our website. If you go to the sbsd.virginia.gov and scroll to the bottom, just look for Scaling for Growth and click it, and you can apply. And again, we're reviewing applications right now. We'll select people who meet the minimum qualifications and then interview them and make our selection. This next class will begin. This will be cohort 10, early August, like August 5. So I will tell you, again, this is our 9th cohort. Once these people graduate, the group that we have received the curriculum from, that we've partnered with, they will follow the graduates for 3 years, and once a year survey them. And the first, true confessions here, when we did the first cohort and they completed the survey, some of the things that are measured are, how many jobs have you maintained or added since you finished the program? How has your revenue grown? What's your average salary for your employees? Do you offer benefits? Are you the employer, the business owner involved in your community? The entire premise of this program is based on the fact that when small businesses grow, communities grow. So the very first survey results that we got, it had revenue had increased since graduation. So keep in mind, that's like 6 months later, by 89%.
Wow.
That's unheard of. You look at textbook information and, to grow 3 and 4% is huge. So we're talking to 89%. So Jennifer goes to me, oh, great. So your goal next year is 89. I'm like, that's an anomaly. That doesn't happen all the time, but repeatedly. And it has not, of course, always been at 89. But I will tell you one thing. We just got the results from the November 2020 survey. And I was blown away. I mean, that's most of that year was COVID. And there was a 19% increase in revenue. It is phenomenal. I would like to do a little bragging here. This program, it's not called Scaling for Growth, but that curriculum is offered through a number of partners across the country, including the U.S. Small Business Administration. We have the #1 program in the country. And the contractor that we have facilitating, she doesn't teach, she's facilitating their growth, is the #1 facilitator. So it is dynamic. The other thing that I'll say that I am very, very proud of, for as small as our agency is, we do not charge the participants. So what we do expect is their dedication and commitment to the program. Because if they're supposed to be filling out surveys and they don't, we're on the phone calling them. Because we need that data. Where do we get our money? From the General Assembly. So we want to show, this is really effective. And I'm going to kind of go out of the box a little bit, and because I always bring this up. But in Virginia, and I know you have listeners outside of Virginia, but in Virginia, more than 99% of all businesses in Virginia are categorized as small. So that truly is our economic engine. And this is not just a nice thing to do. This is about our Virginia economy. And women are opening businesses at 1.5 times the rate of men. And within that group, minority women are opening businesses the fastest. So those are some really significant statistics, I think, that we keep in mind as we're moving forward. So I would encourage anybody, you do need to be a Virginia resident to be in the Scaling for Growth. But if you're a Virginia business and you're interested in more information, please call our main number and ask to speak to me, and I'll be happy to talk to you and get you where you need to go.
Thank you so much for sharing that information. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, they may have, for those who are just now tuning in, they may have heard SWaM a few times, and they may be wondering, what exactly is SWaM? Like, I keep hearing it. I don't know what it is. So can you define again and tell us all what SWaM is, as well as why is this initiative so important?
Of course. So again, SWaM stands for Small Women-Owned and/or Minority-Owned Businesses. And it's the state's small business program that's geared towards enhancing procurement opportunities for our SWaM businesses. A lot of people don't realize that the Commonwealth of Virginia has a 42% goal of the money that it spends being spent with our certified SWaM businesses. So last fiscal year, the Commonwealth spent over $2 billion with our certified vendors. That's billion with a B. So there are opportunities out there for our SWaM businesses. The only thing that it requires is that you have the SWaM certification. It's a free certification. It doesn't cost you anything to become certified. The certification is valid for 5 years. So once you do become certified, 5 years, and within that time, so while many of our programs are for nonprofit businesses, certification is for for-profit businesses only. So, the business would visit our website, complete the electronic application. Once they click the submit button, it's sent to our queue for processing. It can take us up to 60 business days to process an application, but right now we're around the 45-day time frame that it takes for us to process it. Once our team reviews the application, if the business is eligible, we will send them an approval letter letting them know that they have been approved. They are listed on our website in our directory of approved firms, and that's where businesses or agencies go to find SWaM certified businesses. So if I work at a state agency and I need to find a business who can provide catering for an event that my agency is throwing, then I will visit our website, go to that directory and enter the word caterer, and it will show me all of the SWaM certified caterers so that I can reach out to them to let them know that, I have this opportunity available, are you interested in or able to provide this good or service? So the certification is a tool that can help businesses grow and obtain contracting opportunities in Virginia. The certification is not only for Virginia businesses. So, we have people listening from Maryland. Unfortunately, DC businesses are not eligible for our certification, but it's open to just about all the states. We do have a couple, like 12 states where the businesses are not eligible for just because of reciprocity. So if a state does not allow Virginia businesses to participate in its program, then we do not allow businesses from that state to participate in our program. But
now,
go ahead.
If somebody is watching from another state and they want to apply, is the application process any different?
The application process is not different, but we do require out-of-state businesses to hold the certification in their state that they're requesting here in Virginia. So if I am a small women-owned business and I am in Maryland and I want to apply for small women-owned certification in Virginia, then I have to already be certified in Maryland as a small women-owned company before applying here in Virginia.
Now, is there a time frame of how long I should have applied or had that certification, or could I get the certification yesterday and then apply in Virginia?
Yes, you can get it today and apply in Virginia today. So there's no time frame for how long you've been certified in your home state.
Okay. Very, very good information. And a lot of great resources that I'm hearing about. Is there any other resources available that we need to know?
So Kathy, I think you wanted to jump in there.
I did, because a big part of what my team does is try to get people connected. So, people can go on their own into the EVA database, but we host, my team, each team member hosts at least one, what we call a regional connect. So we get state buyers, to these events, and we invite small businesses, because at the end of the day, with most business, it's about relationships. So obviously it's about, the pricing and the quality of what you offer. But if and state government Virginia government's a little different than federal government. The federal government will admit, we don't want to do a lot of face-to-face because we don't want it to appear that we've given preference. But Virginia government is not like that. These buyers will come and set up a table and talk about what they offer and make connections with these small businesses that can matter and make a difference later. But it has to be something the agency is buying. I mean, for example, our agency, we're in a high-rise building, so we're not going to be buying lawn care services. So, sometimes the small businesses say, well, how come you don't buy that? So we help educate them. It's all about education. People don't know what they don't know. And that's really where we're trying to lead them to the next step.
And Jackie, one thing I'll add is that while we do support our businesses in trying to get access to state contracts, a lot of private companies leverage our certification, like Altria, Dominion. So big name companies with big dollars to spend are really focused on diversity and inclusion and making sure their supply chain is deep and diverse. So we recommend that even if they're not interested in necessarily contracting with the Commonwealth per se, there still may be value in working with our agency, whether it be for development or certification or that almighty dollar access to capital that every small business needs.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to add there are many local governments in Virginia that look for the SWaM certification. So not only will it benefit a business in working with Virginia government, but also many local governments as well.
Good information. Is there any other resources available that each of you offer that we haven't discussed just yet that you definitely want to get out to the people that are watching right now?
Jackie, I did want to point out that on our website, we do have a video tutorial that walks businesses through the SWaM application process. So if they, get stuck or need help, I actually recommend that businesses watch the video before they start the application process because it shows them every screen that they're going to see. It literally takes them from the beginning to the end of the application process. And so I think that video would be very helpful to answer any questions that the business may have on, how to apply. Where do I go? What do I do? What documents do I need? So they can visit our website to watch that video. But also, as Kathy said, we have a customer service team who's always willing to answer questions about, not only the certification, but any other services that our agency has to offer. So they can always give us a call, send us an email, reach out to us, and we'd be happy to assist in any way that we can.
Thank you for sharing that. Love to have a YouTube video or a video to show me how to do everything. It just makes life simpler. It really does. Howard, I saw you wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. We have another program for investors. So if you want to invest money in a small business, we want to encourage you to do that. So if you invest hypothetically $100,000 into a business, you can get up to $25,000 of that investment reimbursed to you. That program runs every July, and this year we granted $820,000 to small investors. So it's a dual application process. I'm an investor. I invest $100,000 in an ABC company. ABC company puts an application in and says, "Yep, he invested in me, and I'm an investor. This is who I invested in." And if you think about it, if you invest $100,000 and get $25,000 reimbursed within the first year, even, that's a huge return on your investment. So we want to encourage investors to invest in small companies, and we have that grant program for you.
If an investor is watching and they want to get more details, what exactly do they need to do? What's the steps and the process for that?
Just call me.
Simple and easy.
Call me or get in contact with me or contact anybody on this platform, and they'll get a hold of me and we'll put you in touch with the right people. Our chief credit officer would manage that.
Good. Simple and easy. Yes, Kathy.
So one of the things I want to emphasize is I don't want people to be listening and think, I'm not sure which of these people I need to plug into and how do I follow their process. You don't have to figure that out. Just call us. We're going to walk you through it and get you to the right place. Don't sweat. How do you get going when you reach us? Just reach us and we're going to get you there.
Great point. We have a question from one of our viewers. Is there a minimum investment? Howard, I'll let you take this one.
No, but we gave a very small award this year that we thought took a lot of work for $100, but no, right now we don't. We may implement something.
If I am a small business, I'm starting my small business. Where do I start? What do I do? What would you say would be step one? Go ahead, Kathy.
Call us.
Call Kathy.
Call me, and depending on where in the state you are, I'm going to get you to the appropriate business service manager, because maybe you don't have your business license or your federal EIN, or that's employer identification number. Maybe you need the very basics. So that's why I say just call us. We're going to figure out where you need to take your very first step on this path to getting your business running.
So
And
even if
Jackie,
Go ahead.
Jackie, I was just going to add really quick too, before we step away from that question. Kathy mentioned this at the beginning of the segment, but I think it's worth repeating that we have a tool called Business One Stop. And it allows businesses, especially startup businesses, to understand all the steps they need to take to get their business license, get registered with the state corporation commission. Because to your point, it can be really overwhelming.
Mhm.
And sometimes businesses don't have a clue where to begin. So that is at bos.sbsd.virginia.gov. And you can find that on our website too. But I wanted to point that out. And, while we said all of our programs are free, the Business One Stop does have a small nominal fee of $20. That's the only area where we do charge a tiny fee just to help us cover the cost of the technology. But it really does link businesses to all the different aspects of business creation to make it a smoother process.
Okay. So even if I haven't started my business and I am in the thinking stages, like I think I want to start this business, can I reach out?
Yeah, so we actually have periodically, we used to have a lot of what we called Entrepreneur Express. So that was like a half-day event for people thinking about starting the business, or they had just recently started one. But we found that a lot of our small business resource partners were doing something similar. So what we don't want to do is just duplicate what's already out there. But you will still see on our event site, which again, if you go to our agency's website, you'll find events. But you'll see webinars listed at starting a business. Once in a while, you'll see one in the far Southwest where it's still, there aren't quite as many resources, so you'll still see an Entrepreneur Express. But yes, absolutely, webinars, seminars, and again, people go, but I was looking for this or I was looking for that and I didn't see it. So what am I going to tell you? Call us.
Please call. Even if you've been in business for 50 years,
Yes.
reach out.
So
The resources are here.
Right. And I do want to say one thing on that Scaling for Growth program. We did have a gentleman actually in the first cohort, and he had been in business 29 years successfully. And halfway through the 6 months, he said, because at this core of this program, right in the midsection of this curriculum, is a huge piece on finances. And he said, oh my gosh, he said, it scares me to death that I've been in business for 29 years and I didn't know most of this stuff. So, it doesn't matter. My point is, whether you're thinking about a business, you started one, or you've been in business a long time, there is always something that you can learn. And the other thing that we have found, that people who had been through this Business One Stop, the Scaling for Growth, we've had a couple businesses call us in the last year and say, things are tight, but I want you to know if we hadn't been through this, we would be out of business. And a couple of them completely pivoted. There's a business, and I'm getting in the weeds, and I'll stop after this example, but I think it's phenomenal. She is in Williamsburg, manufacturing, and they were doing all types of souvenirs because obviously Williamsburg is a huge tourist area. Well, that came to a screeching halt with COVID, and she heard a presentation that the governor was doing an appeal to anybody who could manufacture the PPE for COVID. And she talked to her husband. She said, we've got the equipment. So they shut down the souvenirs and are now producing 50,000 pieces of PPP a day. So it teaches you how to rethink things. And those are the more advanced businesses. But my point is, where you're thinking about a business, you just started one, or you've been in business for years, we've got something for you.
And I'll add to that one of the benefits to our Scaling for Growth program is that the businesses get to network with each other. One of the hardest things about being in small business is it's lonely. It's tough. You're wearing a million different hats. You're trying to make payroll. You're trying to come up with the big ideas, trying to market your products. And, that's a lot to ask of any one individual or any one small group of individuals. And, one of the things that I think has really stuck with me in this work is we had a business that said, after she had gone through the Scaling for Growth program, that being a small business is like being on a roller coaster. There's tremendous highs and there's tremendous lows. And that being in that program and getting to network with other CEOs and other founders and business owners that were going through the same thing that she was, gave her strength in knowing that she always had somebody she could pick up the phone and call that was going through the same thing as her. And she said it just really kind of smoothed out that journey for her and made it less scary. So that's a big part of what we do too, is making those connections, like Kathy said, between the businesses so that they really do have a strong network to support them.
Yeah, network is your network. They say it all the time. Kathy mentioned COVID, and it got me thinking. What if there's a business that they were doing well before COVID? COVID hit, they had to shut down, and now they're trying to figure out a way to start things back up again. Is that a business that could reach out and get some help?
Absolutely. So I think there's a couple things, and then I'll let my team jump in. COVID is, financially, and, we were lucky enough to have a grant program. Unfortunately, it's completely deployed at the moment, so we don't have additional funds. But there's still funding out there at the local level. There's funding at the federal level. We can help make connections to PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program lenders out there for businesses that still need access to those monies to keep them afloat. And then again, it's about resources, trying to get them access to resources, because a lot of businesses did have to pivot. They had to figure out how they were going to come up with a completely different business model so that they could sustain themselves in this environment. And those are things we can help them with, help them build that foundation so they can be successful, even as crazy as it is right now.
Thank you so much for that. When Kathy said COVID, I'm like, I know there's a lot of businesses, like you said, that had to pivot, and some of them had to shut down. So how can we, because again, it's the small businesses, and you guys said this earlier, it's the small businesses that have really been pushing the needle when it comes to Virginia. So we want to make sure that in any way, shape, or form that they can get resources, that the resources are available. Jennifer, one more time, can you let people know exactly where they can get information about SWaM as well as SBSD?
Absolutely. So we would love for all of you listening to go to our website. It's sbsd.virginia.gov. And every program that we talked about today is listed on the website. And, again, to Kathy's point, if you get on our website and you feel overwhelmed and you're like, this is just too much, I don't know where to start or who to talk to first, call that 1-804 number we have scrolling it down at the bottom. It's 804-786-6585. And our customer service team will listen to you and help you figure out who you need to talk to.
Listen, the resources are available, and we're doing this so that you don't have to feel afraid. We've all had to pivot. We've all had a very interesting year, and we want to make sure that any and every resource that you need is here and it's available. So if you look at the website, like Jennifer said, and you get overwhelmed, there are 4 people on here with me that can direct you in the right direction. There's no reason why you can't get the help and the resources that you need. Kathy, Verniece, Howard, Jennifer, thank you so very much for just taking a few seconds out of your day to talk to me as well as Virginia about SD and SWaM. And Verniece, just one more time for those who are hopping on, because it is a super important initiative. Can you give people details on how they can get information on SWaM?
Yes, of course. So visit our website, www.sbsd.virginia.gov. When you get to that webpage, right at the top, there's a tab that says Certification Division. If you click on that tab, you will see SWaM, and you can click on it and it'll have all the information that you need, in addition to a video that will show you how to apply for certification and all of our contact numbers in case you need to talk to someone about the application process.
Listen, again, thank you all so very much. Before we leave, because I do think it is important for each and every person to give just some lasting thoughts, just to bring people some peace and comfort, especially in when you're starting a small business, it can be a scary thing to do. So, Jennifer, I'll start with you. Give your, a lasting thought to our viewers when it comes to their small business, starting that small business.
Thank you. So, I think I'll just reiterate you're not alone. We are here to help support your journey, and it's going to be different for every single business. Whether you're a startup or whether you're, in the growth phase, or you're at the end of career and trying to determine what that legacy and succession plan looks like for you. We're here for all of you. Because to your point, Jackie, it is scary. It can be very overwhelming. So we just want people to know there's lots of resources out there, because sometimes people don't know that these resources exist. So that's why we're here tonight, is we want to make sure that you all take advantage of them, because we're just waiting. We're waiting to help you.
Awesome. Howard, lasting thoughts?
Yes, well, we don't want you to be discouraged when you go to your bank, and if you can't get that capital, that access to capital, please give us a call and we can help you do that.
The money is there. Howard's here for you. Verniece, lasting thoughts?
I just like to say that, the small businesses are the economic engine of the Commonwealth. And so you guys are the ones out there, creating jobs, paying taxes, putting all the, revenue into the economy. So we are depending on you to keep us going, and we're here to help you in any way that we can, because the hard work that you're putting in helps us as citizens of Virginia. So if there's anything that we can help you with, please feel free to reach out to us.
Awesome. Kathy, lasting thoughts?
So echoing Jennifer's message about sometimes entrepreneurs feel very alone. This is stuff that we do day in and day out, and it's not new to us. So please plug in with us, because we have a wealth of resources at our fingertips and can get you in the circle of people that you need to move forward.
The resources are here. Virginia, please, 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 if you need them, reach out. The website again is svsd.virginia.gov, and the phone number is 804-786-6585. Again, Kathy, Verniece, Howard, Jennifer, thank you so much. And I'm sure that your phones will be crazy tomorrow, because people have received so much great information and they need help. Thank you for sharing this information with us. It was so needed. And let's continue to keep Virginia going, keep the Commonwealth going, and thriving. So thank you again. I definitely appreciate it. Again, for more information, you can visit svsd.virginia.gov or call 804-786-6585. Have a phenomenal evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.